It is Monday, August 14th, 3:18 p.m. and I'm really not feeling well today. I start work in 3 days and school in a week, and I'm just like really not feeling well today. And I've decided that I want to spend the whole day in bed reading, which is good because I've been wanting to read this series, The Summer I Turned Pretty, forever. It's a trilogy, and obviously there's the TV show that's like really popular and everybody loves it. I actually bought the series, like I have the box set last summer, right before the show came out, but I didn't read it before the show came out, and I am very particular about reading something before I watch the like movie, show, whatever. And then I felt like the moment had passed, so then I was gonna read it this summer before the second season of the show came out, but then between being away and then work and school, I did not have the time. And I feel like now that I have a few more days left of freedom, I want to get that done before that. And it's seriously all I see. I swear The Summer I Turned Pretty is everywhere, like the show. I haven't watched it, I haven't searched it, but I'm always getting like clips of it on Instagram, on YouTube, and so I would like to be able to not be afraid of spoilers anymore, because that's like the #1 thing. I'm always afraid that something's gonna get spoiled for me, and once that happens I'm gonna be like out, because that's another thing about me is I hate spoilers. So I have very limited knowledge. I know that it takes place in a beach town, I know that it's a summer situation, I know that there's a love triangle, and I know that it's between brothers. I feel like that's not a spoiler to say to anybody, because if you like, it's everywhere. Like, that's the most bare bones basic thing. Pretty sure it even says it on the back. Yeah, if you read the summary, it'll tell you. What I will say, and you can skip past this, I don't know, maybe I'll put a note for how much, but anyways, what I will say that I have gathered through seeing kind of like promotions for the TV show is that I believe that the main character, to me there's 3 main characters: Belly, which is the female main character, and then the 2 brothers, Conrad and Jeremiah. From what I've seen through like promo for the TV show, I feel like Belly and Conrad are the ones that are like together, or the ones that are like endgame or whatever. Personally though, I think from what I've seen from the TV promo, I think I like Jeremiah more, and this is based off of like solely the description I have of the back of the book and me like frantically trying to avoid any spoilers from like the trailers for the show. I'm going to put in a prediction right now. Now, I don't know how accurate the book is to the show, and I've seen in the show that apparently one of the brothers is portrayed differently in the books, so I am a little confused on how to feel. I think there's more things about the show circulating than there are the book, so I feel like I kind of have like a little bit more knowledge about the show, even though even that is super limited, because like I said, I run away from spoilers like it is like I'm running for my life. But I think that right now I'm team Jeremiah, and we'll see if that changes, because I think that in the end, like I think the end game is like Conrad. That's what I think right now. That's my prediction. I predict that I might be team Jeremiah now, but then I might switch to Conrad. I feel like generally in TV shows and in movie adaptations, they make the character that's not endgame really like, I feel like they make them almost more likable than the actual endgame character. So like, let's say that Conrad is the endgame character, then like Jeremiah is almost more likable when you watch it on screen. So then, but then in the books, Conrad is probably better than Jeremiah, and this is all speculation, and I'm gonna read now and figure out what I think, and then I'll watch the show, and then I'll probably like compare and contrast. But anyways, this is my reading vlog for the Summer I Turned Pretty series. Today we're gonna see how far I get. I'll probably finish this book today, but we'll see if I can start the second book, which is It's Not Summer Without You. And yeah, I'm all set up here. I have my comfy blanket, the book, I have my pens and my sticky tabs, and I'm ready to dive into the series, so let's get started. Okay, so oh my goodness, I went to go start reading the book, and on the first page I have a sticky tab. No, already actually I forgot that I had gotten exactly 1 page into it when I tried to start the series last summer, and the note that I left is, interesting flash forward, still unclear which boy it is, no clues yet. So the first page says, I say, I can't believe you're really here. He sounds almost shy when he says me neither. And then he hesitates. Are you still coming with me? I can't believe he even has to ask. I would go anywhere. Yes, I tell him. It feels like nothing else exists outside of that word, this moment. There's just us. Everything that happened this past summer and every summer before it has all led up to this, to now. So I totally forgot that I had read that first page. And here I go into chapter 1. Alright, so I just finished the first chapter and it was pretty, you know, basic stuff, setting up the characters, telling us who they are. Belly, her brother Stephen, her mom's best friend Susanna, and then of course Conrad and Jeremiah. She describes Conrad as being, you know, kind of like the broody older brother, whereas Jeremiah is like the golden retriever who is always having a good time, and he's the younger one. And, you know, in this first chapter she does say that she is interested in Conrad. There's a point where her brother asks if she's still interested in Conrad, and she says no, and her mom makes a remark about how she thinks that there was something between her and Jeremiah last summer. So I'm gonna read a couple more chapters, maybe get to like 5 and 6. Willa? Willa? ¿Todo está bien? Willa? ¿Todo está bien? So I'm gonna read a couple more chapters, maybe to like 5 or 6, and then check in again and say what I'm thinking and a little bit of what's going on in the book. Alright, so it is 5:32. I took like a half an hour break from reading, but basically before I stopped I got up to page 118 in the 21st chapter, I believe, because the 22nd is, yeah, the 21st chapter. I had planned to stop earlier than that, but the chapters are actually pretty short. Like, this is where I am, and that's like basically 21 chapters. So I'm about halfway, maybe a little less than halfway into the book right now. They've just introduced another character, and I'm starting to see this turn into like a love square kind of thing, and already a triangle is like, come on. So I'm just gonna wait and see what I think. I'm typically not a fan when characters like this get introduced because it's so obvious that they're not the one. It just feels like a waste of time, like a way to like put something into the story just to like make somebody jealous or stir some other like relationship to actually happen. And so I'm almost 100% sure that's what this is. It always ends up being that. I've read enough books to know that, as you can see. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading now. I will definitely be done with this today, probably in an hour or two, and then that's still pretty early, so I'll probably start reading the second book today also. Alright, so let me see what happens, and then I'll check back in probably when I have about a third of the book left, so after I'm a little past the halfway point. So it's 7:41 now, and I have about 70 more pages. As of right now, I'm feeling like the ending might be a little bit rushed, and I get it's a series, so like there will be 2 other books like to continue this. But the book, I don't know, it feels like there's a lot more to go in terms of like an ending that I would think is like well-rounded, because I feel like anything that happens at this point is probably going to feel a little bit too rushed to me. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. It's literally been like 10 minutes, I don't even know, not that long, and I'm already upset because exactly what I thought would happen happened, and it feels so out of nowhere and rushed. Like, there was a little bit of like a lead up to it in the book, but it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like, ugh, it's discombobulating. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's making me, why is it always brothers is the other thing. I always have this thing when it's a love triangle and it's brothers. Why is it always brothers? I want it to not be brothers. Just, I hate it. At this point, there's about 40 pages left in the book, and I need it to end better than what I'm reading right now. I need it to end in a more satisfying way than this. Alright, it is 8:27 and I have just finished the book. It ended with the same little excerpt that it started with, like that same paragraph. I am curious as to where the story goes on from here. Those last 70 pages were really hard for me. They were sad. They were really sad. I did feel a little bit rushed, but then in the same way, there was Easter eggs for it the whole book, so I guess not in another way. It was just like a lot of heaviness in a short time. I feel very, I have all my sticky tabs in the book. I feel very conflicted about the characters, whether or not I like them. I think the only characters I can say that I like for sure are the two mothers. Everybody else is kind of like... I also have to say that this book, it does feel a little like young for me, which it is. Technically, I'm not the target demographic. I think this is the kind of book that I would have loved in high school, but I read it now and I'm kind of just like, In this book, Belly's 15 for most of it, and then she turns 16 kind of like towards the middle end-ish. So it's a little... So it's really hard for me to put myself in like her shoes exactly, but there are some things in the book, some sentiments and emotions that she deals with that I know all too well. I can never say all too well without thinking about Taylor Swift. In that way, there was a little bit of a connection for me to the book, to the characters, and some of the things that they were feeling. But for the most part, it felt very young. Like, a lot of their actions were immature, and even as I was reading it, I was like, this is like a little immature. But then I remember how old they are, and they're really not that old, so it's a whole thing. But I will be finishing the series because I do want to see where it goes from here. So I'm gonna go grab the other book from my room right now, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here it is. It's Not Summer Without You. I'm a little afraid. I am, because like I said, I don't particularly like any of the characters except for the mothers, and there was a lot of sad stuff that was happening towards the end of the last book, so I'm really not sure how I feel about this. I find all of the characters to be a little bit immature, and that really bugs me at this point in my life, but it doesn't matter because I'm not a quitter and I'm going to get through this whole series. So let me start this one and see how far I get into it. It's 8:33 right now, so I'm thinking at least by midnight I'll be halfway through. So it is 9:41 and I actually have not been reading for all this time. I took a break to have a snack and to spend some time with Willa, but I have been reading for, I want to say, maybe like the past 10-15 minutes. And something really interesting is happening in this book, which is that it's a dual POV now. So we're getting the point of view from one of the brothers in chapter 4, and I'm wondering if somewhere down the line we'll get both of the brothers' points of views, or if it'll just be him. I'm wondering if maybe in the next book it'll be both of their points of views, but as of right now it's still just Belly and now this one brother. So I'm very interested in seeing what his character is thinking at this point of the book. I don't think I can count how many times I have just like stared at either of these books with my mouth just hanging open in shock at what was going on, because it's like so unbelievable, and not in like a crazy like not in like a crazy like I can't even explain it. It's just like imperceivable to me that somebody could be so immature and or like selfish that I'm just like, ugh. What? I don't think I don't like any of them. I don't like Belly. I don't like Conrad. I guess I kind of like Jeremiah, kind of, but even he's a little immature. They're flawed characters. Oh, I don't know what else to say beyond that. Alright, it is 7:49, Tuesday, August 15th, so the next day, and change of scenery. I'm home today because I had to go to a work meeting, but basically I finished the second book this morning, but I didn't really record much of me reading the second book because it kind of got later on at night, and then I didn't really feel like, I left my great grandma's room, didn't really feel like setting up the camera again. And then this morning, same thing, like I literally woke up and like finished reading it, and then I got ready for my work meeting. But I am officially on the third and last book of the trilogy, which is We'll Always Have Summer. As of right now, I'm Jeremiah. Like, I thought maybe the books would make me Conrad, and unless something dramatic changes in this book, I am team Jeremiah. Let me state that. I think in the show I'll be team Jeremiah, here I'm team Jeremiah. I've stated multiple times that I don't really particularly love any of the characters, but if I had to pick one of them that I found the least annoying, both out of the three of them and out of the two brothers, it's Jeremiah. So, I'm team Jeremiah, and based off of the synopsis on the back of the book, I'm a little afraid, because I'm liking where things are right now, and I have a fear that I might not be liking them later. So fingers crossed she makes the right choice, and the right choice is my choice. Anyways, I read the first chapter, like the little preface, and then the first chapter, so I'm like on page 6. I'm on page 6, and I really would not like any, I don't want any buffoonery in this book. At this point they're in college, so they're my age. A couple years younger, because she's a freshman in college. She's like 2 years younger than me. And I'm really hoping that there's some maturity here. It says Jeremiah's fraternity. Jeremiah's a frat boy. Don't know how I feel about that. We'll read and we'll see. It's 10:17 now. Wow. Wow. A lot of time has passed, but I ended up talking to Shelby for a few hours, but I'm gonna read now. Yeah. I am so angry. I'm so angry. I'm this much into the book and I'm so angry. And I know what this is. I know that this is just a meme to get to the end of the book, because I already know what's gonna happen now, and I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Hi. So this is probably just a smidge confusing, because in the whole video up to this point, in the whole video up to this point, my hair's curly, right? Okay, that's because the whole video up to this point took place 2 years ago in summer of 2023, and we're now in summer in 2025, so hello, time travel. Basically, I am so bad, or, you know, I'm not gonna take the blame. I was always too busy to edit my videos, and so all my videos are like 2 to 3 years behind. Like, if I'm posting a video, assume that it happened 2 years ago. And this is such a case. You can hear my computer roaring probably. It's because I've been editing, because I finally have time to. Anyways, by the way, it's Monday. It's June 23rd, 6:47 at night, just for a little time thing. And this video is basically done. The only thing I forgot to do back then was just record my final thoughts, and so I'm gonna do that to the best of my memory. Especially, I think I really want to post it because when I was reading it, I remember it like irking me so much, and also I feel like The Summer I Turned Pretty is just like such a big deal, and now that it's finally all coming out and I'm going to watch it, I kind of want to have this
out, you know? Anyways, oh, sorry, I just got a notification. Somebody liked my Instagram now. It's an Aiden Bissett song. Anyways, so if I, honestly, it's been a while since I like watched the video itself, like it's edited, and the only thing that I knew I had to do was record like a little ending part. Hi. So I can't remember what I did or didn't say or how deep I got into spoilers. I would assume I didn't get too deep into spoilers because I hate spoilers. But now I can spoil, because if you've made it this far, and honestly 2 years later, like now there's spoilers. Okay, so I remember being very firmly team Jeremiah. Okay, and Natalie was so surprised when I told her this, because she was like, what do you mean, because you're such a black cat guy, or saying you want a black cat, you don't want the golden retriever, like, da, da, da. Okay, but like Conrad was a red flag, but they were all red flags. Okay, they were all walking red flags. And when I got to that third book and it was the whole like cheating thing, I just knew. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna use this as the reason why it can't be Jeremiah. Like now it has to be Conrad. I felt like this is such a cop-out, and I love Jenny Han. This is no hate to Jenny Han, but this is such a cop-out, because had he not cheated, they would have been great together. Honestly, up until that point, I was low-key thinking like, damn Jeremiah, like, you know, like all those videos where it's like, up until that point I was even like feeling low-key bad, because it's like, yeah, like that's her first love and everything, and like I'm sure it'd be so hard to measure up and everything. And oh my god, when you get to the point in that last book where the letters that, what's the mom's name, Susanna, the letters that Susanna wrote for them for their wedding days, and he gets Conrad's letter, and it's like, I always knew you would marry Belly. Okay, crazy. That part had me so like jaw dropped. But I think this is a series that I would have enjoyed so much more if I had read it in high school, because I found myself the whole time being super duper annoyed with all the characters. I don't think that the brother and the best friend are like a thing in the book. Also, the best friend was like not that great of a friend in the book. Like I think the show Taylor, even though I haven't watched it, from the clips I've seen and from like what I've heard and like posted, whatever, like seen posted, she seems like to be so much more of like a better supportive friend, and like I think that her and the brother are cute. But in the book, I don't remember that happening, and I do remember thinking like, she's not that great of a friend, you know? It was like, with friends like this, who needs enemies? Anyways, yes, I'm trying to think like what else. I just remember thinking they were all immature, thinking I would have enjoyed it more in high school when I was more immature, like when I hadn't like known like this isn't, or like when you don't really get that that's not okay, like whatever. The grief portion of it, super sad. I don't think that it hit me as much as To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and like that grief storyline, but you know, still sad nonetheless. Yeah, I was team Jeremiah, and I know at the end, obviously, you know, he cheats on her, like, or, you know, I think technically it's when they're broken up, but it's like, you know, friends, we were on our break. Sorry, I'm like bouncing off the walls because I know grandma wants to leave soon, and I want to get this recorded so that when I get home I can just like put it into the video and then like upload the video. Anyways, yeah, what would I rate it? I think I would probably rate it like a 3 out of 5. Like a 3 out of 5. And if I had been younger, it probably would have been like a 4 or 5 out of 5. But you know what? It is what it is. Like, I remember distinctly feeling like I was too old for it as I was reading it. And I think that the show, like, there's like a little bit of a disconnect where they've made it like a little bit like cooler. Cause like, and I feel like I've seen people like post about people who've read it, been like, yeah, like it's a little bit, you know, whatever in the show. Yeah. So there we are. At the end of the book, I felt like I was team nobody. I was team like, this sucks. This really super sucks. Yeah. Anyways, that's all I can remember. I'm sorry. I'm really excited to watch the show though. I haven't watched any of the episodes because when I read the book 2 summers ago, only the first season had come out, and then I finished reading them like towards the end of the summer, and I was like, you know what, like I don't want to watch it now, like the summer's done, like I'll watch it next year. And then last year I didn't end up watching it because I hadn't finished editing this video and I felt like I didn't deserve it. I was like, you haven't even finished the video. Like, you know, what are you gonna do? Watch it when you're like, when you don't even have enough time to edit this video, you're gonna have enough time to watch the show, so whatever. But now that I am finishing it, and now that the whole thing is released this summer, or releasing this summer, the third and final season, I will be sat on my couch watching it all. So I think they all premiere on July 15th, so I'll probably start watching like the 1st of July, like starting with season 1. But also I think that they're being released weekly, so maybe, I don't know, I don't want to wait weekly, so maybe I might just wait for them to like all come out. Anyways, that's my take on the summer I turned pretty 2 years later. Yeah. Bye.